Mr. Daniel Nalliah, a doctor, has fought for Australia, its laws and values since 2001. Originally born in Sri Lanka and migrated with his family, Daniel is also a pastor. He has been mistaken to be a short Indian fella, but a short Indian fella with guts. But he can't be accused of racism either. I don't know anyone who wakes up at 4 a.m. every single morning for 2 hours to pray for Australia. This man is quite a CV. Having travelled to Saudi Arabia with work, Dr. Nalliah witnessed 3 beheadings in person. And that was under Sharia law there. Even after 2 brushes with death, he had great success in petitioning the King of Saudi Arabia in obtaining a royal decree that allowed Arab Christians to practice their faith in their own homes. Then in 1998, he convinced the United States Congress to pass the US Freedom from Religious Persecution Act. Dr. Nalliah is well known in Australia for achieving a Supreme Court win against the Islamic Council of Victoria for freedom of speech. He is also the founder and president of Rise Up Australia Party. Please, can you put your hands together for the man we are all indebted to, Dr. Daniel Nalliah.
Aussie, Aussie, Aussie! 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 Aussie, Aussie, Aussie! Good afternoon, Australia. You are the heartbeat of this nation. Not the people who live in that big building. Because a number of them, unfortunately, are traitors to this own country. I believe in this hour that we are living in. If we depend on politicians to lead the way, they would mislead us down a path which embraces multiculturalism, inclusiveness. When I stand up and I say, we never asked anyone to come here, you chose to come here, why should we adapt to your way of life? You should adapt to our way of life, assimilate into Australian way of life and culture. Do not segregate yourself and create Islamic Sharia zones. If you don't like what you hear and what we do in this country, I have one answer for you. Shut up, pack up, and get out. And for your information, the socialists have packed up and they are getting out also right now. They are gone. Before I continue with the rest of my speech, I have something very special for you. And you're going to love this one. Rise Up Australia Party, of which I'm the national president. We are registered as a political party to contest this. This is our federal 3rd election that we'll be contesting. But we have a little bit of a Rise Up Australia, means are you a Rua? We call it the Rua Warrior song. I want to call the Rua Warriors to come in. Give the Rua Warriors a hand, please.
We hope we're all excited, because we are. Alright, we're going to shout out Rua and we want you to join with us. You ready? Yep. Rua! 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 Save our country! Save our country! Save our culture! Save our future! Save Australia! Rua! Come on, you shout, save! Save our country! Save our culture! Save our future! Save Australia! Rua! country. Save our country. Save our culture.
Save our future.
Save Australia. Again, save our country. Save our culture. Our future.
Save our future.
Save Australia. Australia. Australia.
Aussie, Aussie, Aussie! 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 Aussie, Aussie, Aussie! Thank you. I love the sun because it gives me a suntan. Well, Australia. I called Australia home in 1997. When I first landed on Australian soil from Saudi Arabia, where I lived and worked with my wife and children. You got to excuse me, please, because I have a crook ankle, so it's giving me a bit of trouble.
We love you, man. I love you, man. You're the best.
I'm going to keep that there. Not to be disrespectful, I hope you understand. Thank you. I came into Australia, and I listened to the media, and I thought, why is the media so against its own fellow countrymen? And I could not fathom that. So I started speaking out against Islam. And the media started criticizing me. Quickly I found out that I had a second name, and it was radical. Then it was controversial. Then it was fundamentalist. And I noticed when I went to speak in any particular town or a region, the newspaper advertised my coming with these titles, and more people came for the meetings to listen to me, and I thought, wow, that's really good. I like these names. So don't worry when people try to call you a racist, fundamentalist, controversial. Be excited for that. I find that in Australia, the greatest discrimination against a group of people, pardon my expression, is against the white Australian community in Australia. You know why I say this? If a black fellow like myself goes to the Equal Opportunity Commission and makes a complaint against a white fellow, they'll even give me money to fight my court case and take that person to court. You know why? Our Equal Opportunity Commission, our legal courts, most of them are dominated by socialist, left extremists, nutcases, who are totally against the way of life of Australia. But if my white brother goes to court and tries to complain against someone who has offended them, guess what you get? No support at all. You will be called a racist, and it will be in the newspaper. So how do you break this mindset? Oppose it. Don't be on the defensive. Be on the offensive. Rise up, Australia. It's time to stand right now. I'm sick and tired of the injustice done to the fellow countrymen in my country, which I've come to love as my very own. And I'll tell you, I'll die fighting for Australia. I will not let this country slip away. Australia deserves this country to be protected. I was so furious when I watched on Sunrise that they want to change the Australian flag. Do you want the flag changed? Yes, there were so many soldiers, the forefathers of this country, who died fighting under this flag. Just think of the Vietnam War veterans. How would they feel that that flag that they fought under is no longer in existence in the very country that they fought for? Disgraceful! We need to stand up. There's an election coming soon. Your decision can determine the destiny of Australia. In 2002, because I was speaking out against Islam, the Equal Opportunity Commission, under new laws passed by the Victorian state government, by Steve Bracks, And they took me to court. And they told me that I need to stop speaking against Islam. If not, that I'll be taken to court and I'll be sued. For 8 hours in the Equal Opportunity Commission, they tried to twist my hand. I said I will not apologize for speaking the truth. Then the Islamic Council's president, after 7 hours of debate or consultation, wanted a private audience with myself, not with my lawyers. And in that private discussion, this is what he told me. He said, "Daniel, you're a good man. I know Islam when they pretend to be good sometimes. Because I lived in Saudi Arabia. Taqiyya is okay. Taqiyya means in Arabic to lie, it's okay for the cause of promoting Islam. And our dumb politicians believe what they say. Not all of them. There are some very good men in that parliament and women in that parliament. But a large number of them are politically correct, will bow down to anything which is against Australia, unfortunately, for political correctness. So this guy told me in the Equal Opportunity Commission, in a private room with the Equal Opportunity Commissioner, "I'll make you pay hundreds of thousands of dollars. I'll make sure that you're put in prison. You just apologize and back off. You cannot fight with us." I looked in his eyes and I said, "Mr. Yasser Suleiman, this is not Saudi Arabia. This is Australia, mate." I said, "You bring it on. I will not apologize. I'll fight it in court." So we went to court. The court case lasted, which was supposed to be for 3 days, went on for 5 years. I had to spend $600,000 out of pocket. I mean, not out of my pocket, people contributed, but we had to pay $600,000 to defend.
It was worth it.
It was worth it because we won the case at Supreme Court and restored the right to free speech in Australia. Currently, there are 83 cases being fought in Australia for litigation, and my case has been used as a precedent to defend those cases right now. Aussies across the country contributed to fight. But let me tell you this, the 5 years was not easy because I got several death threats. Then I was threatened that my house and my office will be firebombed. Then this threat was possibly one I didn't quite like. And that was, they said, that your children, we know where they study. We're going to kidnap them. I sat with my wife, having a cup of tea or coffee, and we discussed this issue. What do we do? Do we back off?
No!
And then suddenly I looked at my wife and I said, listen, what we are doing is what we should be doing, because we are standing for our children.
Yes! And their children!
And Australia, that day we determined, it's not about you and me.
Yes!
It's about our generation after us.
Yes!
We need to stand for the next generation of Australia. If we don't stand for the next generation will not have an Australia that we have. Aussie, Aussie, Aussie! 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 Aussie, Aussie, Aussie! I call on every single Imam, Islamic readers. If you guys are fair income, if you say that Islam is a religion of peace, then come on, be fair income. Get on your microphones in your mosque. Shout it out on the speakers that Muslims who die in jihad are going to hell and are going to burn forever. Don't blame the Aussies for what you guys have in your book. These guys, Aussies, are not racist. You are the racist, because I know what racism is. I lived under racism.
We love everyone! We're not a race!
You know what? Muslims die in jihad
Stand up!
thinking that they're going to get 72 virgins.
Oh, yes!
Because that's in their book.
Camel right there!
But guess what they have?
Camel right there!
Guess what they have?
Camel right there!
72 devils.
Yes. Commemorate this.
And I want to tell every Muslim in this country.
Yes.
Now this might be hard to say, but we got to do this.
You have to.
We never hate people.
Speak to yourself, yes.
We have something better in us. This country was built on Judeo-Christian values. Under those values, we are not taught to hate people. We are taught to love people. That's why everyone wants to come and live in the West. So if that's the case, we cannot pay hatred with hatred, because then we lower ourselves to the standard of the Quran. We do not accept Nazi ideology, but we love the Germans. We don't accept communist philosophy, but we love the Russians and the Chinese and people like that. And likewise, we have a problem with Islam, but that does not mean to say every Muslim is a terrorist. We got to love and embrace every person who comes into this country. But when you come into this country, don't try to change this country to where you have come from. And I'll say it again, if you want to change this country to where you have come from, and if you don't like where you're living in, shut up, pack up, and get back to where you came from. I was in the courtroom. I was given a Bible to take my oath. But just a few days ago I saw on Channel 7 that they're going to remove the Bibles from the courtroom. Why? Because people are objecting to it. Watch Australia, watch this. Listen to what I'm saying. In the last 20 years I've studied this very thoroughly. All of Europe has lost its Judeo-Christian heritage. Where there's a vacuum, people fill that vacuum. We got to occupy that vacuum. And I was so furious when I heard that, because I tell you today in Britain, in many courts, the book that they use to take an oath is the Quran. And the Quran was written by, authored by a man who taught violence, lies, deception, child marriage, genital mutilation, female genital mutilation, Sharia law, 4 wives. Whereas the author of the Bible said, love those who hate you, pray for those who persecute you. Australia, we are made of better material. Let's let that be shown in our hearts and our lives. We have a problem with Islam, and I call every Muslim who wants to be a true Muslim, you cannot be a true Australian. It is hard, but that's the truth. If you're a true Muslim, you cannot be a true Australian. You can be a moderate Muslim, and President Erdogan from Turkey said this. There is nothing called moderate Islam. There is Islam, and that's all what it is. So Australia, the time is now for us to rally together. There's an election coming. Make your voice known in this election. Let's vote for organizations such as the ones represented here today. Keep Australia Australian for generations to come. And I pledge my 100% life and my support and my family to fight right till the end to see Australia kept Australian. I will not let Sharia law come into Australia. God bless you, Australia. Thank you.
Daniel will be speaking and campaigning in New South Wales in March, in Western Australia in April, Victoria in May, Northern Territory in June. Please check the Rise Up Australia Party website for details.
Oops! I did it again, baby. Yeah!
Tune in tomorrow. Same bat time, same bat channel.
Bye for now.